afternoon, everybody. I'm very glad to be able to meet you here just to work with this aspect of literature. You know that we have been working with the concept of literature, knowing that literature is this very magical world where everything can happen. And we also dealt with the different genres of literature, narrative, poems, drama, where we want to work deeper in the different genres. And this part is very important because it's the part that is related to working with literature in our classes. Literature is not only reading authentic material, reading authentic fairy tales or authentic short stories, that's very important. But a very important aspect is also what to do with literature in our classes. And a very important aspect of narrative is storytelling. Storytelling is very, very important, especially when working with children in kindergarten, with children in primary level, because you can do a lot of things with storytelling. It's very important in very different aspects. With literature, by storytelling, we can inspire purposeful communication. You can work listening skills. You can motivate students using the second language, writing, in speaking. So using storytelling in your classes is very important and is very, very useful because you can discover a lot of words and you can help your students entering these magic words and feeling motivated in doing different things through storytelling. When working or practicing storytelling, you can do it with stories that you know by heart. But that's very important because we also have been subjects of storytelling. I want you to remember when you were little children, when your parents told you stories, when your grandparents told you stories. Please try to remember at school, when you also were at school and a teacher just told you a story. What was your experience about that? Did you enjoy it? Did you learn something with that? The idea is just to focus on the purpose of storytelling. And you can tell a story by heart, and also you can use different elements to tell a story. We can, for example, use flashcards. Flashcards are very important at the moment of storytelling. You can ask your students to pay attention to the characters. Oh, do you know who they are? Do you know their names? Do you know them? Okay, are they good guys? Are they bad guys? Okay? The idea is that you can think of your students, of children, as your audience. They are your audience. And an important thing in storytelling is just calling their attention. You have to make eye contact with them. You have to be aware of they paying attention to the story, so you can help them to follow the storyline of what is happening, right? Another important element that you can use for storytelling are stuffed animals. Any kind of stuffed animal that you have at home can help you as a puppet, right? So the stuffed animal just becomes a very important guide in the story, okay? So the audience pay attention to the puppet, okay? And the puppet can lead the story of what you are presenting. Also, you can actually use a puppet, a regular puppet, okay? That the puppet will present the story, will help your student to follow what you are trying to say, okay? So these kind of elements call children's attention. We also have cone puppets, okay? These are very popular. Here with them you can present characters, a beautiful princess, a funny clown, okay? And there you can present any kind of story. You don't have to work with the classics. You can work with stories of your own, or with stories that are not that popular, but that are very important because they can teach important things to children. Also, another element that are very useful at the moment of storytelling are finger puppets. Finger puppets are puppets that can be used in your hands, alright? And you can use them with different purposes. This one, for example, is This Little Piggy. This Little Piggy is a very famous nursery rhyme that has been told by parents and by teachers at kindergarten for a long time. So, if you have the finger puppets, you can tell the nursery rhyme as this little piggy went to the market, this little piggy stayed home, this little piggy had some roast beef, this little piggy had none, and this little piggy said, yoo-hoo, all the way home. So here you can work vocabulary, you can work pronunciation, you can work sounds that are very important for working in classes. And not only puppets are useful at the moment of storytelling. We have books, children's books, adaptations of the famous fairy tales, okay, these adaptations are appropriate for children at different ages. Okay, so you can use a children's book and tell your group of students a story, right? Always remember that at the moment of telling a story, the idea is that you can show them the images, that you can keep them, attract them, so you can keep their attention on the story, on what is happening. Also, we have poem books. Poems books for children are very attractive. They are full of images, they are full of rhyme and rhythm that invite them to participate and to be engaged with the story that is presented. And also, there are chant books. Chant books are very important because they present a certain rhythm that children can follow, and also they can work with the content of the story that is presented. So, for example, here we have, this book is called If You Are Angry and You Know It. So it presents different situations at school, and it says, if you are angry and you know it, take deep breaths. If you are angry and you know it, take deep breaths. If you are angry and you know it and you really want to show it, if you are angry and you know it, take deep breaths. So, this kind of material also not only tells a story, but also helps you to compromise, to invite your students to be part of the story. You'll see that storytelling is very useful in your classes. It's a very important part of literature. And I invite you to be brave enough and to start to be part of this world of storytelling. Thank you.